it back out for the Badgers. And the senior gives it up over here to Hughes. Another senior who's had some NCAA tournament moments and memories of his own. And Hughes lays it in. He had that game winner in the first round last year against Florida State out in Boise. A winner, game winner.
A lot of good movement in this Wofford Terriers offense. Cross screens, ball screens, spacing the floor, good cuts. Really be attentive defensively.
Johnson, no. Put back, no.
Rim jam, rim jam.
Got jammed against the rim, but tries a third time, and he gets it to go.
Persistence pays. He's undersized, but he's strong, and he's got long arms, so he's able to play a little taller than he is.
Biggest man they have on the floor for that starting five, 6'6". He's a junior out of Memphis.
That's a generous 6'6".
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, he's about 6'4". But the wingspan makes him maybe a legitimate 6'6" in terms of how big he plays.
And a foul before the shot. Wisconsin will be inbounding.
Wofford foul over 35.
Losing his first. Badgers the 4th seed. Tipped out of bounds. Last touch by the Terriers Salters. Wisconsin 23-8 on the year, but had some mighty impressive wins. As we'll see now a sub come in. It's Cameron Rundles for Wofford, and Nankiville, after being shaken up in the opening seconds, comes back in replacing Ryan Evans. But Wisconsin on the season 23-8, finished 4th, but that's just a game out of that first place tie at the top. There were 3 teams that shared the regular season title with Michigan State and Purdue and Ohio State. They were just a game out of that.
They had 9 games where they played without John Lure, their best scorer and rebounder. So, Bro Ryan, in talking to him yesterday, very pleased with how his team was able to kind of hang on in the absence of Lure.
First lead for Wisconsin as Trayvon Hughes gets the 3 to circle the rim and go in. And it's Nankiville getting it back for Wisconsin. Taylor. Really the first time they've had a chance to run any kind of offensive set with the starting 5 as Hughes is fouled in the act of a 3 by Diggs. So he'll be shooting 3 free throws when we come back. Lure with a dunk. Badgers by 1. Jim Nance and Clark Kellogg back here in Jacksonville, and Cornell makes it now 6 double-digit seeds advancing already in the first round. And a 12 over a 5, that's not unusual. 20 of the last 22 years. And that was the case here. The 12th seed Big Red moving on to Sunday. Take on the winner of this game. We're back to the free throw line, and Trayvon Hughes will shoot 3. Second team all Big Ten player this year. Well, he got off to just a horrendous start in that quarterfinal matchup against Illinois last week. Missed his first 12 shots and then hit 4 desperation threes in the last 2 minutes. It almost brought him back. He's already hit his first 3 today, and now he's trying to hit 3 from the line.
Well, he's experienced, he's tough-minded, and he's a willing late-game shot taker, as we've seen in the past. So those are invaluable attributes when you're talking about winning in the tournament. And Hughes already with 8 points, so off to a strong start. Really important that Wofford gets some quality looks. They're not a great perimeter shooting team. They make 6 3-point field goals a game. They rely a lot on this guy, Noah Dahlman. And the offense they run, which is movement, cutting, screening, and because they're undersized, they really have to do a good job of getting advantages with their movement and screening, because they're going to have to shoot over top of taller Badgers at almost every jump.
Johnson missed the short shot again. Worked hard just to get the shot off down low. As Lohr fires up a three. Long rebound to Diggs.
Wisconsin does such a good job balancing the floor defensively. You rarely get a chance to beat them in transition.
Again, Johnson gets a close look, but it's back out to the Badgers. I know you don't usually carry over stats from one game to the next, but the last 6 minutes of action for the Badgers going back to the Big Ten tournament, Hughes has 20 points. They get 22 points in 6 minutes of play. Going back to Chicago, Indianapolis last week. He has just continued right how he left off last week in the Big Ten tournament. Oh, that's off the foot of Diggs, but a foul against Hughes. You know, when you look at the tournament field, Wofford has the smallest student body enrollment, 1,400 students. 26 wins this year, that's a school record. Notable alumni includes William Preston Few, first president of Duke University. And how about Danny Morrison, who's the president of the Carolina Panthers? He was their former athletic director at Wofford, and then became the Southern Conference commissioner on the TCU as an athletic director, and now he's the president of Jerry Richardson's team at Carolina in the NFL. The Richardson family, big supporters of the whole Wofford College. Not only the athletic department, but everything about it. And that's Rundles missing on the driving shot. Wofford getting a lot of close range looks.
But they're challenged, Jim.
They are, aren't they?
Yes.
Not easy. Nankiville with a three. Godzinski comes in, gets a rebound right away.
Yeah, I think it's important that Wofford run their offense, but be ready to take the main jump shot. Unless you're going to do that, but you have to finish. That's Rundles with a nice move, but you got to knock those down. I think they're going to have to make some mid-range shots against this sticky Wisconsin defense.
Jordan Taylor. And the rebound pulled down by Terry Martin. Going with a little more size in the lineup now at Wofford. Martin, he's 6'6", going to try the jumper. Put back, no, but a foul call as Giltner comes in, picks up an offensive rebound. He'll get a couple free throws.
Well, it's been the Trayvon Hughes show, as you indicated, going back to last week in Indianapolis, but here today, finding a nice rhythm, getting it at the rim and also beyond the arc.
Hughes with 10 of their 12. And this is Kevin Giltner, sophomore from Kingston Springs, Tennessee.
Into the Wisconsin lineup, number 5, Ryan Evans, number 24,
Tim Jarmus comes in for Wisconsin, and Evans, for the second time, replaces Nankiville.
When watching this young fella here, Kevin Giltner, good size, excellent movement without the ball. Got a bright future ahead of him. Got a nice looking stroke there as well.
Well, they've had a hard time getting anything going on the offensive end, but they're fortunate they're only down 12-7. Lohr drives in, and it spins out. Godzinski pulls it down. Subs making plays here for the Terriers. Giltner had a good look on a three. That's Evans. Trayvon Hughes has 10 of the 12 for Wisconsin here at the start. And Wofford's missed its last 7 shots. As the Badgers out of the Big Ten lead this first-time entry into the NCAA field. A travel call against John Lohr.
Traveling before the foul was called. So even on the glass, as you see there. Nankiville back in. Lohr has had a couple of unlucky, some good looks. And I think that can continue throughout the game because of his size advantage.
So I look at Bo Ryan, his 9th year at Wisconsin. He's taken him to the tournament all 9 years.
Impressive.
Including one run to the Elite Eight. There's Gotzinski. That was a wild shot. No field goal by Wofford for over 5 minutes as Evans is fouled on the shot. And that brings us to a break. Trayvon Hughes and the Badgers with the early advantage at 12-7.
Number 3 on
2 for 13 for Wofford from the floor, including 8 straight misses, Clark.
Futility from the field for the Terriers. I think some of it could be attributed to first-time tournament jitters, Jim. They've gotten some decent looks. Bumped off stride there was Johnson. That's a pretty good look for a good three-point shooter in Giltner. And yet, as you mentioned a moment ago, only down 5 as it stands now. Ryan Evans at the free throw line to look to add to the Wisconsin lead. But I just think Wofford has to settle down. When you drive in there, take your time, concentrate, and then be ready to shoot the decent mid-range shots that I think you can get against a compressed Wisconsin defense.
Mike Young sends in for the first time Jason Dawson, number 22, sophomore guard from Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, watched him in high school. Jim played at Worthington Christian High School, a team that's in my son's league, so I had a chance to see him. Nice athlete, terrific kid. And his coach is hoping he can provide some shot making, as both teams have combined to go about 8+ minutes without making a basket.
Here he is, Dawson. Added online, the front of the rim. And Wisconsin's gone more than 3 minutes without making a shot from the field.
Well, neither one of these teams have what I would call spurt ability. They don't run away from you. I mean, Wofford averages 69, Wisconsin averages 68. So, high scoring is not the forte of either one of these teams.
That's a 2-point shot, long by Bohannon. Diggs, jumper. 10 straight misses. Lord, one extra pass and a block and a foul on Johnson. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Greg Gumbel, Greg Anthony, Seth Davis. We'll take you out for a live look at all the action going on in the NCAA tournament at the other sites. They'll get you caught up on all the latest tournament news. It's all coming up on AT&T at the half. First foul on Johnson. And that puts Evans back on the line. And, you know, again, you talk about a team like Wofford coming to with more changes, bringing Losing, the starter, back. Also, Junior Salters returns. But you've gone 10 straight misses overall by Wofford, and they're only down 5.
Right there. Make it 6. It's a 2-possession game, despite the lack of shot making.
And Nankiville on the floor for Evans.
Evans 1 of 4 from the foul line. He's a 63% free throw on the year. So we'll take a break. Let's see if Wofford can get a good shot. Dahlman has not had many touches.
Not since that first trip down the floor when he drew a foul, hit a couple of free throws. Tried to get it into him. And that was forced, and it was stolen. Dahlman guarding up on Lure, banks it home.
Oh, he is so skilled. John Lure, I mean, he can hurt you with his back to the basket. He's an excellent pick and pop guy because he has such a nice shooting stroke. He can set a screen and pop and knock down a jumper as opposed to needing to roll to the basket. So, very versatile front line player. They're really trying to force that ball. And Wisconsin doing a nice job, Jim. You can see the scouting report preparation and the attention to detail by Wisconsin because they're not letting Dahlman get that ball inside.
Butler rides the nation's longest win streak. In fact, they're on to the second round after a big second half against UTEP. But Wofford has the second longest active win streak in the country, having won 13 straight.
Well, that's not only the win streak for Wofford, it's also the consecutive shots missed or close to it.
Yeah, it's been a while, huh? It's been almost 8 minutes since Wofford hit a shot. Wofford's last loss goes all the way back to January 22nd against College Charleston. That's Lure.
That's big time there, Jim.
You talk about skill.
That is big time. A 6'10" guy catching it, driving it in there, stopping under control. You don't see that much.
You mentioned it earlier, too. He missed 9 games with a broken left wrist. Look at what happened. They were 6-3 while he was out, but everything changed so dramatically. It took a while to get him back into the rhythm of the lineup as Dahlman now draws another foul. This one is on Lure, his first, and just the 4th on the Badgers. This March, please fill out your census form and mail it back.
I think I just saw mine in the mail pile before I had to come down here.
You send it back?
I said I saw it in the mail pile.
Okay, well, make sure you send it back.
I am going to send it back. Are you going to make sure you send yours back? Have you even seen yours yet?
I haven't even seen it. They don't know I'm out there.
How could that be possible?
I don't know.
With you all over the place.
I'm underexposed, I guess.
Yeah.
They don't know about me. Here's Lure. Nankiville turnaround. Had a good look. Good aggressive rebound by Johnson. And gets it to Losing.
He turned it over.
Oh, he carried the ball.
He palmed it, yeah.
He palmed it.
Got his hand from underneath to on top. You can keep your hand on top of the ball as long as you want to, but if it gets underneath and then it comes on top, that's when you get whistled for the palming violation.
Just looked like Wofford off that rebound by Johnson was ready to get a little rhythm going, you know?
I think they've got to try to attack earlier in the offense, too. I mean, I know they're a rhythm, they're a system team, a half-court team primarily, but against a bigger Wisconsin team that does a good job in the half-court. Oh, man, what a pass.
And that's Lure to Evans. Yep. Well, let's see what they do right here.
Well, after a made basket, it's much harder to try to get into your offense quickly. It's easier after you get a stop and then try to push it ahead against defenders in transition. Wisconsin just doing a nice move that time by Johnson.
And it somehow circles the rim again and goes in. 19-11 Wisconsin. That broke a 9-minute, 16-second field goal drought. Evans, jumper. They'll give him that shot.
I don't know if Bo Ryan liked that shot because Evans is about to come out. That's a decent shot after you've moved the defense some.
Stays with the Terriers.
There's Bo Ryan. As soon as Evan took that 15 to 17-foot shot, Bo Ryan turned to the bench and asked for a sub.
They're bringing in Bruzewicz. His Badgers lead it by 8. Back here in Jacksonville, Jim Nance, Clark Kellogg, the winner of this one to take on Cornell Sunday. And Clark, again, what's been the story so far in this one?
The inability of Wofford to penetrate the defense of Wisconsin. Not much happening on the perimeter. And inside, it's going to be a real challenge because of how big Wisconsin is. At the other end, John Lure has been excellent. Made some nifty moves and has actually assisted on the basket as well.
First 5 on the floor for the Terriers as Johnson puts it up.
That's when I'm talking about the size. See, you need a mid-range jump shot when you're undersized against a taller defender. You can't expect to go in there. You have to labor too hard to get the ball up and down open.
Lure creating something virtually every time he has touched the ball. Hughes with 5 seconds on the shot clock. And he's blocked. Beautiful block by Diggs. And that just beats the shot clock. Bruzewicz put up the short one. Good defensive trip by the Terriers who get it down to Dahlman, who has not had an official attempt from the floor yet. Ball lobbed by Losing to Johnson, and it's down to 6. So Wofford went almost half the first half with a field goal drought, but they're still down only 6 after the Johnson basket underneath. And the Wofford fans on their feet as Hughes drives in, and he is fouled by Johnson. It will be a shooting situation.
Wofford foul number 41, Tim Johnson.
It's the second on Tim Johnson.
Well, give the Terriers credit, Jim, because they have not been very good offensively, but the defense has been solid. They've continued to stay committed to doing a good job defensively. And as a result, Wisconsin has not been able to create much separation.
Hughes has already hit 3 of 3.
Into the Wofford line, number 1, Cameron Rundles. And number
Cameron
15,
Rundles back out for Coach Mike Young, along with Terry Martin.
It was really nice visiting with Mike Young briefly yesterday, Jim. His enthusiasm and excitement was palpable.
Yes, it was.
Wasn't it?
He was so fired up. He didn't want to leave, you know, after their practice session here, and just savoring every single second of it.
Yeah, it was great to see. His team can knock down some of these shots, they'll have a chance to keep things close.
Mike Young, who served for 13 years at Wofford as an assistant under Coach Richard Johnson, who is now the athletic director, and now 8 years into his own reign as the head coach and the Southern Conference Coach of the Year. It's Taylor, he'll take the shot, and Lohr positioning for the rebound. He's really got 5 boards and gets it back on the blocks. Martin defending, and Lohr, even with the soft roll, no, but Hughes squeezes in underneath and gets the easy basket. He snuck in there. Timeout Wofford, as the lead has swelled to 10. Ties the biggest lead of the game. Is a Hall of Famer, not only a head coach with the Minneapolis Lakers. They're on the shoulders of big George Mikan, head coach at the University of Minnesota, and his grandson's on the floor here today for Wofford, their leading scorer, and the Southern Conference Player of the Year, Noah Dahlman.
Well, you see no field goal attempts today. He's been able to get inside and draw a couple of fouls, get himself to the line, but no opportunities on goal yet.
The old coach, grandfather, is back home watching this one with tremendous pride. Again, 2 grandsons in the NCAA tournament field.
That's right. Isaiah with Michigan State and Noah here.
Wofford shooting 20% from the field. That's Martin. That's Dahlman with the putback. There he is.
Right on cue. Probably brought a smile to Granddad's face.
I would hope. I would think. Hughes waits short. Last touch by the Terriers. Dahlman and Rundles both had a hand on it. Rundles and Dahlman both from the Minneapolis area. There's 3 Minnesota players in all on Wofford. Again, a team out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. That's where Wofford College is located. A little less than an hour and a half away from Charlotte, North Carolina. Now Lohr, as Diggs came down, the double team almost got the steal.
Actually, that was Diggs on a dig. That's exactly the textbook look at digging down on the post player.
Lohr showing us now what he's got from 3. Bruzowitz keeps it alive with a fresh 35. Taylor. That's a pretty one.
That sure was.
Jordan Taylor, the sophomore, also from Minnesota. He knows all of the Minnesota kids.
Because he just gave Rundles a look that said, I got you that time. And it was a look of familiarity.
They were AAU teammates. The 3 on Wofford. And Jordan Taylor. Oh, that's a nice shot to go finally. That's Diggs. Bohannon. Now a chance to move it up quickly. Back to Diggs, back outside.
Wisconsin really forcing Dahlman off the block area where he likes to operate.
Made a good move to get by Brusewitz, but missed a short shot. Taylor. It's going the other way. It's going against Taylor. And with a break at 25-17, Wisconsin only 2 turnovers now. Well, this is the Minnesota connection we were talking about. Dahlman was the first to come down to Spartanburg. And then, of course, his old AAU teammates heard about it. Diggs was playing at Wayne State College, a Division II school. And Rundles was at Montana, where he was the Big Sky Freshman of the Year. There he is. There's Diggs.
And these guys actually spent time in the summer. There's Dahlman, but they spent time with Ryan Whitman and Jeff Foote working out in the summer league this summer.
Who already won on this floor earlier today.
That's right.
Some of you may have seen it. Cornell with a big victory over Temple.
Well, for all of the ineptitude offensively as far as shot making goes for Wofford, it's only an 8-point game.
That's right. Feels like it's much higher than that, but make it 6, in fact, as Rundle scores.
But you know, Jim, I've got to tell you something. This team has just stayed the course. I think they need to shoot perimeter jump shots. That's not who they are. They're a driving team, a screening team, and they've kind of stayed with who they are and what they do, and it's a 2-possession game. So hats off to the Terriers. They've been excellent for the most part defensively. Wisconsin has missed some makeable shots, but the defense has been relatively solid for Wofford. They've had a tough time with Lure because he's just so much taller than his defender, and he's so skilled that he's just a hard matchup.
He's able to maneuver and get a clean shot anytime he wants it.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well said, partner. Rundles had a big game in the championship game with 20 points against Appalachian State. So he's capable of getting it going offensively.
So the ball remains with Wofford and the shot clock at 15 with 43 seconds to go in the half.
We want to try to keep it at single digits, the deficit here. Good possession here. Well, it seemed as though Jordan Taylor was holding Rundles. The 2 former teammates on the AAU level. Jordan Taylor feels he may have gotten away with one there. Seemed like he had Rundles locked up pretty good.
Got about a 4-second differential.
Well, if I'm Wisconsin, I play through Hughes and Lure in this possession. This guy hasn't been too bad either since he's been in the starting lineup. Jordan Taylor, pick and pop action maybe.
2-point shot. Underneath, Lure had it for a moment. Bohannon, 3 seconds.
You're going to say it went off of Bohannon.
I was going to say it's off of Wofford.
Yeah, he was pointing that way. Let's see. That's Dawson. Oh, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, hard to tell. They said it went off of Dawson. It looked like it might have been Bohannon. Taylor with 2 seconds. Left-handed shot, no. And a whistle before the horn.
And it's on Jason Bohannon. It'll be a moot point other than a foul being assessed because it won't send anybody to the foul line.
Well, Bo Ryan's come all the way out here to midcourt. He was heading to the locker room, and he's being told by Anthony Green to go ahead and return that there's still.
I think this is really just a formality because, again, both teams are well under the limit as far as fouls go, and that's what Bo is saying now.
Yeah, he knew this was not going to be a shooting situation.
Right.
It's only the 6th team foul. So we have reached halftime with an 8-point margin. Started only 2 out of 15. Here's a little Hughes shot chart.
That's tightly compact. You see he hasn't missed many, 4 of 6, including 1 triple. He also made 3 foul shots after being fouled on a 3-point shot attempt.
And now let's go behind the stats presented by LG. And for more in-depth analysis, game watch CBS College Sports Network's continuing coverage of the NCAA tournament. 6-6 for Tim Johnson. Again, Hughes with 14 out of 27.
And then you throw in John Lure, who had 8. That's 22 of the 27. Those 2 guys, Hughes and Lure, 8 of 16 from the floor. The rest of the Badgers, 2 of 13. Johnson and Dolman led the way for Wofford, 4 of 10. Those 2 combined. That means the other guys, 3 of 15. Somebody please knock down a few shots in this second half.
Again, there was that one dry spell, 9 minutes and 16 seconds for the Terriers, and off the Bohannon 3 attempt is Johnson giving it back to the Terriers.
Well, the Badgers, good front runners, as you saw there, 20-1, and they have a cushion at the half.
The only lead they lost against Illinois. Illinois, the only team to beat them at home this year up in Madison. That's Diggs with a jumper, and that's what they needed. See anything like that in the first half?
A welcome sight. A jumper falling.
Taylor gets the jump, drives in, and draws a foul.
You called it. He got the quick first step. No way the help defense could get there quick enough. Right there, boom, he's gone. He got that shoulder and first foot by. And Losing was at a disadvantage. Dahlman came over, but no chance. And when he gets those shoulders squared and gets between the defender, it's hard to get through him. He's well put together.
3-point shot there, hitting him now. That's Junior Salters with the 3. He just became a 1,000-point scorer during the Southern Conference tournament. Reached that mark in the finals. They beat Appalachian State to get the automatic berth. Appalachian State, coached by Buzz Peterson, the former North Carolina Tar Heel player. Reach-in foul. And that's against Johnson, and that's going to be number 3.
That's a big one. Big foul there, Jim. He's giving up a lot of size, but he makes up for it with length, with his wingspan and his strength. But Mike Young made no move him out. He's going to count on Johnson to be able to play effectively with the 3 fouls. And I think that's the move he has to make. His team only down 5. They got some positive momentum going. Roll the dice with Tim Johnson in the 3 fouls.
Salters just hit the 3.
And then Johnson has to be careful not to pick up a cheap foul.
Losing goes behind the back. Now dishes to the wing. Another 3. Yes! That's Junior Diggs, and just like that, the Terriers are within 2. Hughes spins, gets free.
Nifty.
Senior leadership, too.
Yes, sir. That's what you expect.
Getting tight, and he says, let me take over for a minute here. Settle things down. Dalton, their leading scorer on the season. Southern Conference Player of the Year, Salters. Over to Losing. Diggs on the drive and scores again.
Here he comes. Boy, that's 4 baskets in a row, Jim.
I know it.
By the Terriers. They're starting to bark and bite a little bit now.
Some halftime adjustments by Mike Young. There is Hughes with a 3. No. That's going the other way as the ball gets stuck above the backboard.
Into the Wofford line, number 50, Terry Martin.
That couldn't happen if you tried to do it 100 times.
Right against our camera. During all of this, Johnson goes to the bench.
They should be able to go get one of those Wisconsin flags.
And Johnson's replacement comes in. Will make a move here.
Uh-oh, don't jam that camera now, young fellas.
That is
yeah, see if it extends. Oh, and then he took it apart. Well,
all right, Terry Martin, one more try.
There it is. Looks like he's got a chance to get it in. There you go.
He just might have made one shining moment with that effort. Who knows? Do we give him a rebound? He's tough off the glass. Things have changed in Jacksonville, and that shot ties it up. It's Junior Diggs who has taken over in the second half for the Terriers, who trailed on a couple of occasions by 10. We're down 8 at halftime and have now tied it at 31. They've hit all 5 of their shots in the second half. Talk to me, Clark Kellogg. Did you see this coming up at halftime?
I didn't, but clearly 5 of 5 shooting, a pair of threes in there, and Diggs digging deep. Jamar making it his highlight show. Pull-up jumper, splash, open three, splash, pausing, parking, splash.
They're all wet. They're all wet.
Man, what a difference making shots makes. And here we are, partner. All even. Now Wisconsin has to find its offensive rhythm. I think you go to John Lure here. You find a way to get him a good shot.
The Tallman defending, has to give it back up to Hughes.
Yep, reset. And he certainly can play through this guy. Trayvon, he's got to be careful not to force him.
8 on the shot clock. And it's Taylor. Way up high off the glass.
And he may have gotten bumped, too. We've heard some guys mention and one, stream and one. Good concentration that time by the sophomore, and a nice answer to a strong start to this half by Wofford.
Here's Diggs. He's been the one. It does it again.
Uh-oh.
Jamar Diggs.
Now, that was the toughest shot he made in this half, and when you start making them like that, Jim, you're talking about major volcanic eruptions possible.
Lure. And a foul call against the Terriers. And that'll take us to a break. Foul was on Junior Salters. The Terriers have tied it at 33. Run your fantasy baseball league with the award-winning Fantasy Baseball Commissioner. Try it for free at cbssports.com/commissioner. Diggs 5 of 5 in the half. Badgers shooting 3 of 5. They've seen their lead evaporate. Taylor, he got free somehow.
He paused him.
They gave up baseline.
Yep, the hesitation dribble froze him. You're right. I don't know why the defender left the ball there.
He's got 8 for the game, 6 in the half. Now the last 9 points on this end of the floor have been scored by Jamar Diggs. As Salters, though, says, hold on a minute. We'll take the lead. Their first lead's at 6-4. Second 3 of the half by Junior Salters.
And they're shooting 1,000% here. That's 7 of 7 for the Terriers. Diggs and Salters accounting for all of the points.
Lure, though, silences the huge throng here from Wofford as he hits the jumper.
I go back to a point you made in the first half that John Lure, because of his skill level and his size advantage, can get into a good quality shot at any time and expect Wisconsin to try to take advantage of that.
There he is, Dahlman off the assist by Diggs.
Jim, what a difference shot making makes. Now you start to open up your playbook when you knock down some perimeter shots.
Wofford back up by 1. Now it's Lure. Guarded tightly by Martin, had to give it up. And that's a foul call on Rundles. Well, Wofford played 2 Big Ten teams this year, both on the road. They played at Illinois, played in Champaign, and lost by 14. They played at Michigan State and lost by 12. So they weren't blown out in either case, playing on the road at the Big Ten. They got a neutral floor here to take on Wisconsin, 4th place finishers this year in the Big Ten Conference. Lure again, Dahlman in the matchup. And the long rebound tapped out, picked up by Salters. Going back to the first half, they've hit now their last 9 shots. Imagine that, after a 9-minute drought they had at one time. This is the team that was 2-0 against teams from the SEC this year. They won at Georgia, and they beat South Carolina. Diggs on fire, finally misses one. Lure with the rebound, and Martin's on his back. NCAA March Madness On Demand is streaming every game from the NCAA Championship online for free. Watch any game from the tournament live at NCAA.com. You know, it's funny when you think about it, as you see Nankivell come back in. That's the first foul on Martin a moment ago. Salters sits. He's hit some key shots in this half. How fragile it all can be. You think about Kentucky was undefeated, suffered its first loss of the year against South Carolina. Okay, now a #1 seed in the tournament, Kentucky, and yet this is a South Carolina team that Wofford beat. Start connecting the dots. Well, who knows? That's Nankivell missing. Martin pulling it down. Giltner back in, saw minutes in the first half. And that's going to be a call against Lure. Hold on a minute, actually it's going to be a call against Taylor. And just the 2nd team foul against the Badgers. Actually, that's the 1st team foul of the 2nd half. Diggs drive it in, kicking it back out. Rundles down low to Dahlman. Dahlman squeezes off the shot, tipped around back to Dahlman, and he's fouled on the way up by Nankivell. Second foul on Nankivell. Got the under 12 break. Dahlman will be going to the line for a pair. Wofford shooting 80% in this half. You just think about this first NCAA tournament experience, what it must mean for them. This is a school, if you will, that really did not have much to talk about when it came to basketball and postseason. Back in '94, they played in the Division II tournament and lost in the first round to Eckerd. Okay. And then in 1960, they played in the NAIA tournament. Short-lived as well. But now they get a chance. Now that they're at Division I, they became Division I back in 1995 and joined the Southern Conference in '97. It was Danny Morrison who elevated the program to that status. He's the one we mentioned earlier. Prominent member of the Wofford Society, who's now the president of the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, you look over on the Wisconsin side of Bo Ryan's team. They got to be a little bit in shock right now, Clark.
Well, I would say mildly so. They didn't really capitalize on opportunities to extend the lead in that first half, Jim, when Wofford was really struggling to put the ball in the basket. And it's always dangerous when you let a team that's an underdog hang around and find some confidence. Then it becomes difficult to shake them, and that's what we have right now. Shot making. The defense has been aggressive and very good for Wofford pretty much all game. And now with the good shooting that's taking place here in the second half, they feel pretty confident. Dahlman going to be at the foul line. And we get out of this timeout with a chance to extend the lead. And you start to think about a long way to go here, but you start to think about the pressure that builds on the higher seed and how sometimes that can be an added burden to carry when the underdog gets some momentum.
Is a Wisconsin team that in the AP preseason poll did not receive a single vote. You wouldn't find them under also receiving votes.
Right.
They weren't there, but they ended up defeating 3 top 10 teams at the time during the season, including Duke, which will be playing here later tonight, when Duke was ranked 6th, Purdue when it was 4th, and Michigan State when it was ranked 5th. So back at the line is Noah Dahlman. We kind of found out about Wofford as he was making a recruiting trip through the Carolinas, went over for a visit at Furman, nearby Greenville, South Carolina. Actually had a little bit of a discussion about playing football and going to Michigan State with his brother, going up playing football there for the Spartans. Both shots missed, but tapped out by Martin to Giltner. So they get a new possession.
Boy, and you don't like to see that if you're Bo Ryan. 2 free throws missed and your team doesn't come up with the rebound.
Back to Dahlman. And the Badgers had converged, and in all that traffic, Dahlman lost it. First turnover of the half for the Terriers. We get it down to Lohr. Martin reaching in. Lohr gives it up. Gruzowitz, no. And Dahlman muscles for the rebound.
Boy, nice job by the official there not to anticipate a held ball and let the play go on. Sometimes the officials anticipate when guys get tied up. Give them a second or 2 or 3 to wrestle for that ball before you call a jump.
The second foul on Trayvon Hughes and second team foul of the half against Wisconsin. Their bench, you can see.
Well, it took them 20 minutes to score 19 points in the first half, and we're not even halfway through this half, and they've already equaled that total.
Yeah, already matched it.
This guy's been in the middle of all of it, too, Jamar Diggs.
Got Johnson back on the floor, Clark, with his 3 fouls.
Yep.
Here it is to Johnson. Going to work it in. Kick it back out. Working with a 1-point lead. Martin thought about it. No. Going to go down low to his teammate Johnson. Second chance on the way.
Look at him go to work on that offensive glass. Boy, he just muscled himself into that missed shot attempt.
Well, a Big Ten team in trouble right here, but one Big Ten team has just advanced. Purdue beats Siena 72-64. A wild one here. Wofford has come back after a big struggle in the first 20 minutes, down 8 at halftime. That's all. It seemed like it could have been so much larger. They had a 9-minute drought from the field, but then they come out here in the second half, just revitalized thanks to the play of Jamar Diggs. And now they have a 1-point lead. Johnson trying to make it 2.
That's 4 free throws they've missed in a row here. +1. Dahlman misses 2 free throws, and then Johnson misses 2.
Wofford shooting 74% in this half. The Southern Conference champions, the same conference that produced Davidson into this tournament the last several years with Stephon Curry. And there's Lohr hitting a shot, giving the Badgers the lead back.
That is so impressive, Jim. We saw him make a similar move in the first half, off the dribble, controlling his body and getting up into a high-quality shot.
Diggs wide of the mark and short. Saved, though, by Rundles. Going to drive in, put up with the left hand. Martin, second try, and They keep exchanging the lead. Now in favor of Wofford by 1.
That's all Rundles there. He's doing a nice job pursuing the ball and keeping a possession alive for his team.
Big time save as it's going out of bounds.
Well, Rundles and Jordan Taylor really going at each other. You can see those competitive juices really starting to ramp up.
Trayvon Hughes is fouled, and it spins out almost a three-point opportunity. Well, Wofford in that first half did not hit a three, but that's not the story in the second half. There's Salters who's hit a pair. Diggs hit one. That last foul was on Diggs. His second. Two-shot situation for Hughes.
And also the 6th team foul on Wofford, Jim. So the next one sends Wisconsin into the bonus. And the Badgers, a pretty good free throw shooting team on the year. 74% from the line.
Jason Dawson, the backup guard. And he's back on the floor for Wofford. Saw a couple of minutes in the first half. Hughes gets the second, and we're tied at 40. 9.5 to play. The winner to take on Cornell on Sunday. Salters dishes. Dolman, yes.
Well, they really run that tight screening action exceptionally well, and the fact that they've made a couple of perimeter shots has opened it up for Dolman a little bit inside. He was not getting the kind of looks he's had a couple of times here in the second half in the first half.
This is going to put him into a 1-and-1 you talked about. That's Tim Johnson also. That's his 4th. So the 7th team foul, and Johnson immediately sent to the seats as Martin will replace him. Martin gave him some valuable time subbing for him earlier. But it's 1-and-1 for Lure.
Well, Jim, let's keep track of how many free throws, 1-and-1 situations Wisconsin is able to take advantage of going from this point forward. So you've got one there. Lure's having a really strong game, and that's 2. So they get 2. You want to keep track of that just to see if it really is the advantage it looks like on the scoreboard.
So they're going without Diggs now for the second trip down the floor. Diggs getting a little breather for the first time in this half. He's been quite the difference maker. Salters as well. He thought he made it. He was starting to fade away, feeling as though, you know, his stroke's been pretty pure here, but not that time. Along with the shot.
Jordan Taylor trying to post up the smaller Dawson.
Lure for the lead. Badgers up by 2. 16 for Lure, 8 in this half as we approach the 8-minute mark.
How about that? Both teams identical from the floor.
Rundles no. Rebound Lure. Coach Mike Young trying to get Diggs that rest until that under 8 break, which will be coming right now. It's going to be a foul again on the Terriers. It'll be a 1-and-1 out of the break. Wofford showing a lot of heart in this half. Coming back from 8 down at the intermission. Well, the arrow belongs to Wofford as Wisconsin is going to be at the line with a 44-42 lead. The one player who has struggled is senior Jason Bohannon. Not made a shot. 0 for 3 from the field.
But he's a senior. He's an outstanding three-point shooter. Wofford has done a really nice job of staying in his chest, not allowing him any good looks.
2 shots actually. I called it a 1-and-1. And it was in the act of shooting.
That's right.
And one more on the way for Jordan Taylor.
The thing about a guy like Bohannon is he can be quiet for a long time and then wake up at winning time because of his ability to knock down the 3. But so far today, Wisconsin has played an awful lot through John Lure and Trayvon Hughes, understandably so. And the Badgers enjoying a +5, +6 advantage at the line.
Oh, Rundles finds a clearing and drives it in for 2. They've got Junior Diggs back on the Jamar Diggs back on the floor. Shot by Rundles, cuts it to 1.
I don't think Wofford's going to go away. Wisconsin is going to have to put them away, Jim, because they've gained some confidence. The defense, as we've said all game long, has been steady. And now it becomes a very comfortable game for them, possession by possession.
Lure way outside, and that's going to be against Taylor, who is wrapped up.
I tell you, those two former AAU teammates, boy, they are really getting after each other.
It looks like they've been through this before.
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, you don't want to give up anything to a friend in this kind of competition, and these guys are both going after each other.
That's the 3rd foul on Taylor, who nearly makes the steal. They've got 5 team fouls against the Badgers. Wofford just down 3 a moment ago. Now has a chance on this trip to regain the lead. You wouldn't have believed it. You saw the first half here, folks. They couldn't get a shot to drop. Now it's Dahlman working on Lure.
Excellent job defensively by Lure. That's really good work by John Lure, but the Badgers unable to finish it off with the rebound. Boy, that looked like it may have gone off Terry Martin.
Gonna stay with the Terriers. Here's Diggs, goes behind his back, and that cost him. That's only the 10th turnover in the whole game for both teams. Lure up ahead, no. Tipped up, Bohannon, no. And Wofford comes out with it. Now looking for the numbers game. They don't have him. Rundle's shot stripped. Martin, jump shot, yes! Wofford by 1 with 6:13 to play. NCAA tournament debut for the Terriers, and it's an impressive one. Here's Hughes, falling, gets it to the corner. Ball squirts out. Jarmus had it for a minute, and a foul call against Wofford. It's called on Salters. You better watch it. That's his 2nd. Team foul number 9. It'll be a 1-on-1 for Jarmus.
Mad scramble here. Let's take a look. Yeah, he reached in. I don't know if he actually touched Jarmus there, but he did reach in.
So again, 1-on-1 coming up. Tim Jarmus, junior from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. As Martin leaping for the board. You said you didn't think Wofford would go away. It doesn't look like it at all.
They're not going away, just like Terriers.
Nipping at their heels, huh?
Nipping, yapping,
okay.
And ever present.
Aptly named.
Yes.
Here's the guy fueled the comeback, Diggs. He's shut down by Bohannon. Now goes in the paint, got stuck for a minute there. Jarmus on the floor. And a timeout called from the floor. Jarmus is awarded the timeout. Instead of a tie-up, a timeout. Badger ball coming back. The next foul committed by Wofford will activate the double bonus for Wisconsin. 2 free throws the rest of the way. It'll be Wisconsin ball inbounding. Length of the court with 5:22 remaining. Jim Nance and Clark Kellogg here in Jacksonville. Wofford College has been around, by the way, since the 1850s. The school was named for Reverend Ben Wofford, Methodist minister, who, when he passed away, left $100,000 for a college to be built. It was named after him. It's been around a long time, the school. And this, of course, their biggest moment athletically ever, right here. They did play Wisconsin in football this year at Camp Randall back in Madison. Badgers winning at 44-14. Now they meet the big dance. Hughes falling to the floor, tipped up and in by Nankiville. That was just a desperation. Keep the ball alive by Trayvon Hughes.
And a good job by Nankiville to pursue that orange. Anticipate where it's going and beat everybody else to it.
Nankiville's first points of the game. Rundle's left open and right back. The lead returns to Wofford.
He's a really confident player, Jim. Did a nice job keeping that dribble alive and getting the defender in a bad position off that screen.
Taylor in traffic, goes back out high with it. It's Lohr, set for a three, no. Tipped around and picked up by Rundles. 1-point lead and possession with 4:20. Wisconsin's missed its last 7 from behind the arc.
They've had periods, Jim, where they've gone cold from behind the arc. They might need to think about trying to get that ball inside a little more. This is a very comfortable pace and situation for the Terriers.
Diggs, it's been a while since he scored. Now putting up a shot short. Bohannon with the board. Lohr. That's going to be offensive.
Sure is. He got that shoulder down. Good sportsmanship there. Diggs helping up Lohr.
Second foul on Lohr. We've got a break here at 3:37 to play. Wofford by 1. And 48-47. Wofford. Wisconsin saying we've seen enough of the Southern Conference. Eliminated a couple of years ago in the Sweet 16 round by Davidson. Southern Conference champs, and of course that spectacular run they had with Stephon Curry. Now they face the Southern Conference champs, and they're in a tight one here. Going to come down to the wire here in Jacksonville. We've had 10 lead changes, 9 in this half alone.
And Rundles has been the guy that Mike Young has decided to put the ball in the hands of. He's a creative driver. He's got some size and strength. Seems to be pretty good in the pick and roll. Very patient and deliberate are the Terriers.
Rundles jumper. Long.
Well, he got the shot he wanted to, Jim. Used that body to bump off his defender and had a good look from the elbow. If Wisconsin tries to get this ball inside, either with the dribble or pass. Tough shot.
Tipped up. Nankiville. Tossed outside, but right into the hands of Salters. And they lost it. Off the fingertips of Diggs.
Salters indecisive there. Well, no reason to make a pass when you're a decent ball handler yourself. Just take care of it. And then take your time and give it to a teammate once you're under control.
Could have had that possession down to close to 2 minutes and been looking at a 3 or 4 point lead, depending on what shot they took.
Perhaps.
This is Trayvon Hughes' favorite time, but not this one.
Badgers really not getting good shot attempts here the last couple of times, Jim. Some of that is defense, but I also think just a little antsy. And now Rundles will get to the line as Wisconsin over the limit.
That is the 7th. And for Hughes, number 3. Second half. Just a personality change here for the Terriers. That confidence started soaring in the first minutes of this second half. And really, it was Jamar Diggs who started to give him that extra injection, confidence.
Yep, he was the catalyst for it all. Knocked down his first, what, 4 or 5 shots of the half?
Yes, he did, 4. He's going to have a one-on-one out of a timeout call. Wofford has missed all 4 from the line in this half. Big one coming up. So Jamar Diggs will be at the line for a 1-on-1. He's a 76% free throw shooter. He's a junior, and again, another one of the Terriers by way of Minnesota and Minneapolis.
Well, Jim, there was a pretty long period of time where Wisconsin enjoyed the bonus and Wofford was nowhere near it, and Wisconsin made 2 out of 3 foul shots during that stretch.
It's going to be Rundles. Let me correct that. Rundles at the line, not Diggs. Rundles about 65%. Again, they're 0 for 4 in this half. This is a 1-on-1. My goodness.
Those hurt.
Now Taylor over to Lure. A little two-man game on this side, and now Taylor takes it middle. Swatted away right into the hands of Diggs. What a block that was. Right back though to Hughes. Layup for the lead.
Terrific play by Jordan Taylor. That was an example of next play mentality. A shot denied, didn't give up on it. Got the steal, and Wisconsin on top by 1.
With 1:38 to go. Rundles has 10 seconds on the shot clock. 1:20 left in the game. Lobs it underneath. Martin snatches it. He's fouled on the way up. That pass had to be lofted and dropped right in there perfectly, and they did it. At the other end, what a block by Martin, and then watch the play by Taylor.
Well, Taylor was so concentrated. Actually, Diggs was so concentrating on Trayvon Hughes, he never realized that Jordan was coming from behind him.
Meanwhile, Trayvon Hughes just picked up his 4th foul. Martin at the line with 2 shots. And now they're 0 for 6 in this half.
Wow. Wow. You talk about negating excellent shooting and outstanding play throughout this second half. As much as shot making from the floor can energize you, missing free throws can deflate you, but we're even.
Martin's second one ties it at 49. Wisconsin possession coming out of a Wofford timeout. Each team has 2 timeouts remaining. Wofford with a 9-0 advantage. Bench point scored this half. Martin contributing 5 of them. He just hit the free throw to knock the score at 49.
Tim Johnson, who's been sitting for Wofford with the 4 fouls, is back on the floor for the Terriers. Rundle says 1 stop is what we need.
Hughes, a senior, bringing it up. He hit the game winner last year in the first round against Florida State at the buzzer to eliminate Florida State. Up Boise.
Pick and roll action, 2-man game, Hughes and Lure.
Double team for a moment as Johnson's back on the floor. Now he sags back to get on Lure. It's Hughes, stopped, suspended. Shot, rebounded by Nankiville, and then somehow is able to get it over to Lure, and they come back out high to reset.
You want to defend solidly without fouling. 2 big offensive rebounds this half by Keaton Nankiville. Again, Wofford not a very big team, especially with Johnson and Dahlman out there, so Nankiville has been able to get possessions for his team using that size advantage.
14-second differential, now 10 on the shot clock, and here it's Hughes. Until he wants it. Now he gives it up. It's Lure from the... Yes! From 2, not from 3. And a timeout called by Mike Young and the Wofford Terriers. As Lure hits the open jumper. The feed from Trayvon Hughes. 18 points for Lure. Rattles it home. Now you wonder, what will Wofford do here with 17 seconds?
Well, Jim, you've got to go fairly quickly. You need to get a good shot. You play through your best players. That'll be Diggs, Rundles, and then also Dahlman. They've done a nice job running the little pick and roll up top, and also the screening action and the movement from weak side to strong side in the paint area. But I think you've got to get a shot up within 6 to 10 seconds to give yourself a chance. Actually, the sooner the better, in my opinion, because now if you don't score it, you get a chance to come up with an offensive rebound or foul and then stretch the game a little bit. But you can't try to milk this, I don't think, down to the last second. It's also a good time if you're a bit of a gambler, and sometimes when you're the underdog, run a play where you drive it in there hard and you look for a good three-point opportunity for one of your better three-point shooters. You know the Badgers are going to be conscious of protecting the paint and might not expect a three-point shot attempt here.
And they've been hitting their threes in the second half.
Yeah, exactly.
They're 3 out of 4 in this half. Maybe they'll go ahead and launch a three and go for the win. The Terrier, one of the tiniest dogs of all. We got one of the ultimate underdogs playing in an NCAA tournament for the first time.
Well, Diggs is a 37% three-point shooter. Salters is as well. They've both made a few here. They've both made threes in this second half. And that's really it. Rundles is 39% from the three.
Here's what they've been playing for all season long, for a chance. Rundles driving in. Turnover going back to the Badgers. An appeal here by Wofford.
Yeah, I think Anthony Green may have seen that ball go off of a Wisconsin Badger. Or maybe not. They're consulting right now.
It's going to stay with Wisconsin.
Let's take a look at it. Rundles in a tough spot here. Pretty good job moving the feet. Yeah, it looked like it went right off of him. John Lord, the big fella, moving his feet. Didn't give up the baseline. Now you got to foul immediately if you're Wofford.
Bohannon to inbound. Snaps it up to Lure, and Dahlman reaches in with 4.2 seconds to go. Lure going to the line. Again, double bonus. He'll be shooting 2.
Team foul number 10 on the Terrier. John Lure at the line for Wisconsin, shooting 2.
Lure's already been at the line in this game. 2 for 2.
Wofford calls.
And a timeout called by Wofford.
Timeout.
Trying to not only give Lure a little time to absorb the situation, but to set up what they must do if there is a miss. 4.2 to play. Well, John Lure's going to the line right now. Shoot 2. Could pretty much seal it. And Wofford, of course, we talk about free throws. It's been brutal in this half. 1 of 7 on their side. Now they must hope that Lure misses at least one of these.
Lure is 72% free thrower on the year, Jim.
By the way, Wofford still has 1 timeout left. That makes the margin 3. Here you go. Makes it a 4. Wisconsin calls a timeout. 53-49 Badgers with 4 seconds to play. All right, draw me up a little 4-point play here, Clark, if you're the Wofford Terriers.
There is none unless Wisconsin helps them.
Yep.
There's no 4-point play unless you get in terrible position defensively. Now what you do is you pressure the ball, make Wofford use a little bit of time, and then get out of the way.
Rundles to inbound, and Lohr is going to challenge the inbounds throw. He comes up to Diggs. Tries to get in traffic. Bohannon backs off. The shot's no good, and the Badgers are moving on to the second round. Bo Ryan has his 600th win. And he congratulates the great effort by Mike Young and the Wofford Terriers. Wofford went the final 4 minutes and 40 seconds without a field goal. We are set now for Sunday here in Jacksonville. It'll be Cornell against Wisconsin, and you can just see it all over the faces of these kids from Wofford College. They knew they had a chance to make great history here today. Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.